Last week, we photographed a great gray owl. Now, in a snowstorm, we will encounter the apex predator of North America. The Yellowstone Expedition is sponsored in full by Killer Bees Coins, custom coins for all occasions, and Living Well with Debbie L. Restore your health. Ansel Adams wrote, "Wildlife photography is not just about capturing an image. It's about capturing the essence of the wild, where every creature is a part of the landscape, a living element in the timeless story of nature." After the excitement of photographing my first great gray owl, I thought I hit the highlight of the day. Boy, was I wrong. Let's pick up the story right after the great gray encounter. Well, that was an awesome moment. At least I now know where to go to find a great gray owl. Of course, I didn't get far. Check out this guy. Out here grazing in the open is a large male elk. We're at the end of the elk rut, and it looks like this guy is taking a break and showing off those amazing antlers. His coat blended beautifully into the autumn colors of Yellowstone. Just a big, powerful animal in nature's serenity. But there's bears to photograph, so through the Hayden Valley we go. Then we spot this guy. All of Yellowstone's wildlife are hyper-focused on finding food. This guy is no exception. Look at how well his coat camouflages him into the grass and shrubs. Back on the trail of the bears, we continue through the Hayden Valley only to get distracted by a bison crossing the Yellowstone River. In all my years of coming here, I have never seen this. This huge fuzzy cow is about a quarter-mile away. This is where the importance of a good zoom lens comes into play. Here's our friend photographed at 100 millimeters. This is a great environmental shot. It shows you the vast expanse of the Hayden Valley and how small a 2,000-pound animal is in the wilderness of Yellowstone. Here's our boy photographed at 500 millimeters. A zoom lens allows you to traverse great distances and get up close and personal with your subject without becoming lunch. As the bison moved on, another coyote came over a ridge. This was also shot at 500 millimeters. You can see our friend zeroing in on his lunch. About those grizzly bears. If you're wondering how I'm able to so easily handle the brutal weather and harsh shooting conditions of this expedition, look no further than Living Well with Debbie L. Under the guidance of my coach, I lost 16 pounds in 6 weeks. Reach out to Debbie today to start your journey to better health. So we're heading out to a place where some grizzlies have been frequently. We're going out to a place where grizzlies have been hanging out along the north end of Yellowstone Lake. You know, in the distance, it's hard for you guys to see on the camera right now, but the mountains are snow-covered. It's beautiful. And every once in a while I can see, just little snowflakes coming down. Winter is upon this park, and shortly after I leave here next week, they're going to close most of it for the winter. So we are definitely here at a very special time. We're driving along the north shore of Yellowstone Lake. It's a cloudy, overcast day, which means no harsh light. I took this photo of 2 trumpeter swans on the lake, but take a look at that background. You should be able to see mountains in the distance. What is in the sky? That is what is about to hit and make this next encounter very interesting. Alright, so we have our first grizzly encounter. Really cool thing, snow is just starting to come down. So all she's doing right now is foraging, trying to get those last calories in before it's time to hibernate for the winter. Meet Snow. She's one of Yellowstone's most famous grizzly bears due to her habit of staying close to places where she can be seen and photographed. Keeping my distance, I use my Canon RF 100-500 to photograph her using a log as a balance beam.
Well, park ranger just asked everybody to leave the parking lot. Too many grizzlies in the area right now.
So we backed off and took a position on the road. Snow decided to join us once again. Snow got her name from the pale-colored fur on her face. This distinctive coloring makes her easy to identify. Right now, I'm about 150 yards away. Every once in a while, she looks up and shows that cute fuzzy face to all her adoring fans. And then, right back to foraging. The bears here in Yellowstone have entered a state of hyperphagia. In short, the bears are trying to get fat. They're preparing for Yellowstone's brutal winter and hibernation. During this time, bears can eat up to 20,000 calories per day. She'll spend up to 20 hours a day eating to nearly double her body weight for the long, cold nights ahead. Every once in a while, she takes a look around. If only she would do that while facing us. Remember all that gray over Yellowstone Lake from earlier? Well, it just hit.
As you guys can see, the snow is coming down pretty good here. She's staying about 100 yards out and just having a good old time looking for food. This is a great day. Snow, bears, wilderness, awesome.
Snow is enjoying the snow too. Just check out that tuft of snow on her snout. Snow does sometimes get in the way of your photos. You can also leverage it to create even more unique and dramatic shots. Here I'm trying out the Canon RF 2X extender. This photo is at a focal length of 1000 millimeters. Well, snow is getting too close, so you will hear the park ranger very soon.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
The Yellowstone series would not be possible without the financial support from Killer Bees Coins. Killer Bees Coins will help you create a custom coin to commemorate the special events in your life. Whether you're military, a first responder, or want to add that wow factor to impress your guest, a challenge coin is the perfect keepsake. Contact Pat at Killer Bees Coins to get started.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
She ducked down right as I was about to hit my shutter button.
Whew. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And cold.
I may be cold, but I am loving this.
Well, Yellowstone keeps delivering. So we moved back down a little ways here closer to the lake. We got another grizz. She's kind of hidden behind some trees. Some dead trees, so we really can't get a good shot, but we're going to hang out here for a while. I mean, but seriously, look at the snow coming down. Is this not spectacular or what? I've always wanted to visit Yellowstone in the snow in the winter, and I'm getting that right now.
This is Jam, Snow's sister. Their mother was Bear 644, otherwise known as Raspberry. Jam is keeping her distance and the snow is coming down harder. This is making photography more and more difficult. Snow is piling up on my lens.
This is awesome.
This is what makes the difference between a hobbyist and a serious photographer. Staying out when the conditions get tough. With the snow cutting visibility too short to see Jam anymore, I'm going to go look for better opportunities. Like this guy, a bald eagle. Perched high above Yellowstone Lake on a dead tree, keeping an eye out for delicious freshwater fish. No wonder why this powerful aerial predator is our national bird. He's not fooling around. Not a bad shot with all the snow coming down. Some may not like the streaks of white from the falling snow, but for me, it just intensifies the photo. It shows the struggle of living in the harsh winter landscape of Yellowstone. On average, the Yellowstone winter is the coldest place in the lower 48 states. My time here in Yellowstone is just beginning. In the next episode, we're going to photograph some of the smaller residents of Yellowstone, face the challenges of winter, and move to the Lamar Valley, a place known as the Serengeti of America, where we'll be searching for another apex predator.